G'day, it's Farmer Jay and welcome back to Deere Farms. It's been a while since I've taken a look at mods. Mind you, there haven't been a lot of mods, with Giants taking 3 weeks off for Christmas. But there are a couple of mods that came out this week that I think are worth taking a look at. And a few that I found that I don't know how I missed. I'm not going to review each and every mod, just because there are so many mods that come out, and I don't want to be rude, but there's only so many 3-meter implements that I can use on the farm, or even want to use on the farm, because 3 meters takes forever to do anything. Now, if you want to keep up with mods that come out each and every day, I recommend you follow DJGoham, if you're not already, because he does a fantastic job of covering all the mods. He does a daily video. So, I thought we would take a look at the ones that I think will benefit you the most on your farm. The first one we're going to start off with is the variable speed helper. Now, as you can see in my menu at the top left, I can press Alt-0 and it will toggle my working speed. For this, it's suggesting working at 18 miles an hour instead of 11. Now, it only works when the implement is down and ready to use. If I fold it up, it disappears from the menu. If I unfold it, appears again, but you can still press Alt-0 and it'll work. While I'm on this piece of equipment that has obviously had some good use to it recently, this mulcher, let's talk about the next mod that I find very useful, especially if you have your farm in several locations, like I have on Elm Creek, where I have a main farm and I have a secondary farm, and don't always have a pressure washer around. So the next one is Instant Wash. If I want to wash either the tractor or the implement attached to it, or both, all I have to do is press the insert key. And poof, everything is clear. I love the sound effect for that. So that I find is a very handy mod. The next mod, and this is one that's been out for a little while, and like I said, I don't know how I missed it, but it's the Lizard 9-meter. They call it a subsoiler in the description, but it's found under plows. It's a 6-meter or 9-meter, has 2 options to it, has a variety of different colors. Mine, of course, is in John Deere green. But what I like about it is it works at 10 miles an hour in both 6-meter and 9-meter configurations. The largest plow we have in the game right now is this one, which is 7.4. So this one falls somewhere in between the two. This is key. This is the reason I really like it, is it's multi-platform. So it's cross-play compatible. It works just like a plow works. I plowed this field just to prove it. It will allow you to create fields without having to download the massive field creator mod or the cultivate field creator mod, which I reviewed before. The thing I prefer about this mod over the cultivate field creator is, as it works like a plow, you can just press Y and it will allow you to create fields in a plowed condition. The problem with the other mod is, even though you've created a field, you still end up with a needs plowing state. So that removes that. This basically will create a field, and the only thing you'll have to do is lime and fertilize it. The fact that it's 9 meters really helps. It covers a lot more ground than a plow does very quickly. I don't know if I'd call it a subsoiler in real life. I'd probably call it more of a chisel plow than anything else. It's definitely not a plow in the traditional sense because it's not a moldboard plow. So, but definitely very, very handy. The next mod that came out, and this one came out this week, not the Jcb Work Max. We're going to look at that in a minute. For some reason, it doesn't want to let me into the... There we go. The Man TGX. This is just the basic water tanker. You can find it under trucks. Is it under trucks or is it under animals? Must be under... It's under animals. Comes with 640 horsepower, which is more than most of the other trucks do. Automatic transmission, 490 liters of diesel, so you're not going to run out. Travels at 50 miles an hour. Now, it holds less than the tanker trailer does at 24,000 liters. But with 640 horsepower, you're going to be able to get to and from your water supply pretty quickly and move water or milk around the map. As you can see, milk, water, diesel, liquid fertilizer, herbicide, slurry, or digestate. It'll take all of them. So I'm going to be using this on my farms. Not necessarily to replace a large water tanker, but to supplement it. Especially if I want to move something quickly. The large water tanker, the trucks that pull it are only 500 horsepower, and they take a while to get up to speed. So I think this is definitely a nice addition to that. Next up, a couple of... You can never have, in my opinion, too many of these. You got a variant on the John Deere Gator, the 6x4. And we've also got a Jcb Work Max. As you can see, both of these come with several options. We'll look at the Jcb Work Max first. You can have it with or without windows, or just the front window. I kind of like it with all windows because, well, being Canadian, it gets cold up here, and you don't want the doors open, if you know what I mean, eh? The next two are the John Deere Gator 6x4 or 4x2. They essentially do the same thing. It's just the number of wheels. They have a lot more options than the Jcb one does. You have various protection packages, like the front bumper. You can different wheels. Like the Michelin, they're a little bit more aggressive. It comes with a variety of different configurations, including with front window, without front window, with side doors, with a light bar up at the top. You can add beacons if you want to, and you can also add turn signals. Nice thing here is you can change it from 25 to 40 to 50 kilometers an hour or 31 miles an hour. And then you can change it to a couple of different colors. You could have it all John Deere yellow if you want. I think that's far too much yellow personally, so I'm just going to leave it with the green. Or you can go with the military green, which is actually an option offered by John Deere because they sell this to the U.S. military. Now, this also comes with a couple of different options. It comes with a 3D lifter, which is basically a 3-point hitch. It comes with a bale container, which is the one I have attached to it right now. And it also comes with 2 plow options. You can't change anything with them. Comes with a fertilizer/lime spreader. It's only got 1,000 liters, so it's not going to cover a whole bunch of ground. It comes with a salt spreader if you want to spread salt on a yard. A sprayer, 5 meters. And it comes with 400 liters. Again, handy to have, but I guess you could use it for cleaning up areas that your large sprayer missed. And then it also comes with a skip, which will hold a variety of different products. At 0.8 of a cubic meter, so it's not going to hold a lot. But those are definitely some handy options. See, this is the bale trailer I was talking about. And all you do to attach it or detach it is press Q and then drive away. Press Q and it attaches again. I might as well show you the plow. Have to start the engine. The plow just goes up and down. It doesn't have the same options as some of the other plows do to swivel from side to side. And if you've watched my how to remove snow video, you'll know that the plows that came with the game, which are much bigger, require quite a bit of horsepower. Even though they're pushing the snow to the side, they require quite a bit of horsepower. So I don't know, and I haven't tried it yet, but I don't know how effective this one's going to be, or the blade on the front of the JCB. Next up, we have Silage Additive. This can be found under pallets. It costs $500 and comes with 50 liters. This one, the Bond Silage Additive, comes with 60 liters and costs you $2,990. So it's quite a bit more expensive than this one. Even if this one was a little bit more expensive in line with the price of that one, the reason I like this one is I don't have super strength on, but I can pick it up and I could put a couple of them, and it seems to want to sink through the bottom of that, but I could stack a couple of them into the back of either the Gator, the Work Max, or the Mahindra, and you can just take it out to the field without needing to worry about a loader with a pallet fork on it. Next up, We have the Ghouta Maya 820 roller, and I believe there's a 620 version of this one as well. It's found under rollers. Yeah, 6.4 to 8.2 meters. Works at 9 miles an hour. So it's narrower than the small roller that Dalbo roller that comes with the game. I like it purely for the fact that it's got some very aggressive rollers to it. It looks very nice. The modder did a very good job with this one. It'll do exactly the same thing as the other field roller does in preparing the seedbed after you've planted the seed. Like I said, sadly it's a little bit narrower and a little bit slower, so it's not going to cover as much ground. Next up, we have the Case 1455. This is found under small tractors. Has a couple of different options. It's only 145 horsepower. Now, when I was young, we actually had, I think it was this model or the next model up on the farm. And for a small dairy farm, it was perfect. Yes, we could have done with it, you could always do with more power. But 200-liter fuel tank, travels at 24 miles an hour, 6.6 tons. Got a couple of different wheel setups, from wheel weights to wide tires with weights, rear twin wheels, narrow tires, and standard tires. I like the wheel weights, mainly because we used to use this for plowing. You can add flashing lights to it. Basically, those are strobes. I'm not going to add those because I consider that to be a modern upgrade. But you can also add front loader attachments, which makes it handy for general farm use. So if you're looking for a classic, old-style tractor, this is definitely one I like. And actually, let's take it for a spin. We'll leave the roller behind. But if you look down at the gears, it's got the old style gear shift. And it's got that nice clutching sound when you shift gears. Instead of looking at the gears, I should probably be looking at the road. So I think the author did a really good job on this. You may not have a need for it on your farm. Like I said, I downloaded it purely for sentimental reasons. The next major mod that's I think is worth looking at that just got released is the Krone. And I know I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but the Suadro 2000. And it is the biggest windrower in the game. Where are my windrowers? There they are. So the biggest windrower we have in the game right now is the Kuhn at 14.7 meters. And this is 19 meters. So it will cover quite a bit of distance. If you want to bring two swaths together, it is wide enough that it will bring two swaths from a mower, a 10-meter mower, together. No problem. Having said it's the biggest, this one is probably the Suadro Ts 970. It comes with a game, so I've not covered it as a mod. but it is rather unique in that it folds out. Let me buy this and I'll show you, because this is also worth a look at. I'll grab this tractor and we'll take a look at the other one. So the big one works the same way as any conventional windrower does. As you can see, it forms that V shape and it brings everything in. This one, and I gotta find room to unfold it, folds out, and as you can see, it's got the guard on the right hand side, and there's no way to toggle this like the other one, but you can lower it, and what it'll do is it'll bring all the grass from the top left through the various rollers to the guard on the right side, and it will form a windrow there. It then goes down the field. When it gets to the end, it turns around and it makes another windrow, bringing the two windrows together. So while it doesn't cover as much ground as the other one does in one pass, it essentially covers 9.7 times 2 is 19.4 meters. So it'll actually cover slightly more width than the other one will. But that means 2 passes, that will cover the same amount of grass with 1 pass. And it still doesn't have a fantastic horsepower requirement. I know I've covered these combines in the past. Both SID Modding and GHG Modding have released a variety, everything from the 690 to the 790 to the 770 series, and then the John Deere X9 1100. Now, I know we already have an 1100 in the game, but I believe it's SID Modding that did this one. He's done several upgrades to it. You're not stuck with tracks if you don't want tracks. You can have dual wheels at the front. He's updated the grain capacity to equal what's listed on the John Deere website, which is 16,200 liters. You can buy grain extensions for it. These have also been updated now in terms of the size. 4-wheel drive. It's also an EU or US model. You can actually have an Australian version too. The only difference between the US and the Australian is, if we can find it, there we go, the Aussie says it's an oversized vehicle. Now, I know in North America we're technically supposed to use oversized vehicle signs when something like this is traveling down a major road, but we don't always do it. I won't go into too much detail about this one. Really, what I wanted to say was the model's been updated and is definitely worth getting the update if you haven't done so already. So that covers it for vehicles. The next mod is, I haven't got it installed because I'm using Power Tools, but it is the Disable HUD mod, and I'm just going to use, it does exactly the same thing as this does in Power Tools. It disables the HUD, gets rid of everything, perfect for taking screenshots. I'm not going to download it just because I don't know if two mods that do the same thing are going to create a conflict or not. The next mod, if you're into horses, and I'm going to do an update to my horses video using the horse helper mod. I described this in the horse video, but what it does is you pay, I think it's $300 a day per horse, and the horse is groomed, ridden, and taken care of. All you have to do is make sure there's feed, and the value of the horse will just keep going up. If you're into horses and you don't have time to ride 5, 6, 7, 8, however many horses you want, that's the mod for you. The reason I'm going to do that as a separate video is I want to find out just how valuable or how much you can end up getting for a horse. In Farming Simulator 19, it was $50,000. I don't think it's that much in Farming Simulator 22. The second to last mod that I'm going to talk about is Grow Crops Now. And basically what you do is you press the / key, wait 5 seconds, and the crop will grow an extra stage. So let me press the / key and we'll wait 5 seconds, and we should have growth go from growing to harvest. There we go. So we're now ready to harvest. Note, I don't have this field owned. It will work on all fields. Let me see. Do we have anything that's withered? No, it just seems to have, fortunately, this is sorghum, so it should have withered, but it just brings everything to a harvesting state through the growth stages. I'll try one more time and see if it does wither anything. Four, 3, 2, 1. Nope, looks like it once it reaches harvested state, it stays harvested. I don't recommend you use this with seasons on, because it can, well, it affects all the farms on the map. So you can end up affecting the AI farmers, and depending on how big your farm is, it can affect how many contracts are available or what's going on. So I would turn off seasonal growth and use this at your discretion. Personally, the only time I'm going to be using this, and even then I'm going to be using it loosely, is for yield tests to find out how much a field yields under different conditions. Anyway, like I said, those are the mods I consider worth taking a look at that came out over the last couple of weeks. Some of them you may find very useful, and some of them you may consider cheats. I know some people consider the horse helper mod a cheat, because if you're not going to put the time into riding a horse and grooming it, then you're kind of cheating. I just look at it as, well, depending on whether you want to role play or not, you're paying, or you could look at it as if you're paying somebody to ride those horses or take care of those horses for you. In fact, that's what a lot of horse ranches do, is the owner doesn't actually do the grooming and the riding, except maybe for 1 or 2 horses. That's why they have staff. I guess it's the same reason as we can hire AI workers to plow and plant our fields. So I hope you found this useful or interesting. I will do more mod videos for mods that I find particularly useful. especially when they're cross-platform, like the Lizard Subsoiler is. So if you want to be informed as to when I do new mod videos, definitely hit that subscribe button and that bell. And feel free to leave me a comment about any mods you think that are important that I have missed. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend.